Hello my friends, Nomad Ben here. So I'm actually in Collegedale, Tennessee right now, and I was hoping I could show you guys Little Debbie's Park alongside with the store, then make our way to Cleveland on our way to the 5 Points Museum and end it at the Blasted Machines Tech Shop. However, it's raining out, and I was hoping I could get there before the rain started, and I was hoping we could show it off while it's misting, but it is starting to come down. So I want to just play it safe. So next time I'm in the Collegedale area, we'll definitely explore the park and go to the store. But if you guys really want to see the park itself, I've had made shorts in the past about visiting Little Debbie's Park in Collegedale. But you can also check out my friend Chet Guthrie, the Dream Poets vlog on it, and also Jacob the Carpetbagger's vlog on it as well, if you guys want to see what the park is like. But hey, it's a beautiful day out and you live around the area, go ahead and see the park for yourself. So I'm actually in the parking lot right by Scooter's Coffee over here in downtown Collegedale. So I never had Scooter's. I'll go grab me a cup of coffee at Scooter's, and then we're gonna make your way over to the 5 Points Museum in downtown Cleveland, Tennessee. So here we go.
It's all about where you've been, Nomad Ben. Tell us all about the finer points of living in your traveling. Food, beer, history, nature quest, every corner of us all to the great Midwest. Tell us all about where you've been, Nomad Ben.
So here we are, Scooter's Coffee drive-thru. It's just a little drive-thru coffee shop, very similar to Lola's Coffee, where I occasionally get coffee if I'm around the area, but first time trying Scooter's. Let's do it. So they got a really cool menu on this thing, and I just ordered myself a maple bourbon cream cold brew coffee with a maple waffle sandwich. There's a lot of good things on here too, so let's try this. So I just got the Scooter's breakfast sandwich, the maple waffle breakfast sandwich, and I'm not sure if the barista wrote this or if it's on every bag, those who go to Scooter's, if that's actually possible, but someone wrote "I love you." Probably that means they love my channel or something. I don't know about that. And of course here is the maple cold brew with a happy smiley face guy enjoying his coffee. And if I turn it around, it should say Scooter's Coffee on it. Yeah. I'm also getting a really nice view of I believe some kind of veterans park. I'm gonna show you guys off over here. Maybe I have to check that out up close in person. I know I see some people kind of enjoying the walk. Well, now it's starting to clear up with the rain. I'm trying to debate if I should check out Little Debbie Park while I'm at it, or just, like I said, we'll save it for another time. But that's really cool. Alrighty, friends, let's go ahead and try the sandwich, Scooter sandwich. Oh, it smells very, very sweet, nice and warm. Got the waffles kind of stuck to the thing a little bit, to the wax paper. Oh, the sausage looks really well. Right here. That's really good. The waffle's a little soggy, but the flavor's nice. Very sweet and mapley. Maybe a little longer on the waffle for my taste, but overall, the great flavors. Sausage is good. Flavor of the waffle's good. Good egg, good cheese. Pair with the maple coffee. Wow. That's not bad. I took a few more sips of the coffee. I mixed up the cream a little bit. It's a lot better now. Coffee's very good. I'll probably have to rate this place probably a solid 8 or 7.9-ish, but on the curve of 8. It was good. Like I said, I would like the waffle a little more crispy, but that's just my opinion and how I like things, but everyone's going to make things different. I'm not that picky of a food reviewer, but of course I'll share my initial thoughts. But overall, the food was good. Coffee's good. I'd recommend you guys come and check it out. Scooter's Coffee. There's one in Collegedale. I believe there's one in the Hamilton Place area in Chattanooga as well. So, not sure about downtown Chattanooga. I know there's Pete's Coffee down there. But yeah, Scooter's Coffee. Interesting. Really good place. All right, friends. Let's go ahead and make our way to Cleveland and check out the 5 Points Museum. The rain is starting to come. So friends, here we are. We're in Cleveland and the weather is cleared up for now. But like I said, we'll check out Little Debbie Park and that helicopter park later on this particular year. But I wanted to shout out to my friend Chuck Guthrie, the Dream Poet. I'm not sure if the sign has anything to do with his family. Possibly, because he's a Cleveland boy and he does a lot of Cleveland-based things on his YouTube channel. But just a little shout out to my friend Chuck Guthrie, the Dream Poet. And you can also see him and meet him at the October 19th, 2024 meetup that we're doing at Blasted Machines. And here we are, my friends. We're in the middle of historic downtown Cleveland, Tennessee. You know, there's a little more to explore on other parts of this town. On the other side of those buildings, you'll probably get close to Lee University that way. I've kind of found this statue over here before we make our way to the museum. Colonel Benjamin Cleveland is the name. Benjamin Cleveland was born in Virginia, served in the North Carolina House of Commons, and led the Wilkie County militia at the Battle of Kings Mountain, October 7th, 1780. Wow. In Bradley County, and named it Cleveland in honor of Benjamin Cleveland. So, a man from Virginia by the name of Benjamin Cleveland, they named this town in honor of him. Very cool. Lining up for a little selfie. Mr. Nomad Ben and Colonel Benjamin Cleveland. The Battle of the Great Bends. And adjacent to the statue of Colonel Benjamin Cleveland, there's a little memorial of William K. Bill Norwood, Corporal U.S. Army, 1930 to 2018, honoring his life. And here we are, my friends, Museum Center at the 5 Points, or the 5 Points Museum, whatever you want to call it. And I must have came at the right time because it says last week's miniature exhibit, whatever that means. So we're going to make our way inside over here. And this place offers a lot of other good stuff other than the history. They offer the arts, education, events, all that good stuff. And you're greeted by a giant head of a Native American. And here's an up close and personal look of the Native American chieftain. No name about who this particular Native American chieftain is, but it is a monument for the Cherokee Nation. The Cherokee Chieftain Monument, sculpted by Peter Toth, 1973. There's a lot of Native American history all throughout Georgia and Tennessee and the majority of the southeast, or basically the east itself. A lot of the sad history, a lot of parts of the Trails of Tears, or the Trail of Tears, correct my English. They all had to gather up and head west to Oklahoma. And right by the big Native American sculpture, you could see the sign that says Tennessee Music Pathways official location. And I Google searched what this is supposed to mean. But we all know that Nashville is the music capital of the world, or just in America. But as I'm doing research, Tennessee Music Pathways is a 1,200-mile statewide system designed to certify locations that have made significant and impact contributions in the music industry. And here's the entrance to the Five Points, Smithsonian affiliate, so you know it's going to be very fancy. And here are the hours of the establishment. So you're greeted by this piano here, and a picture looks like a bunch of Union soldiers. And another Native American sculpture, and this is the Cherokee Nation, carved by Mike Vaughn, 1994, carved from a branch of the Ross Treaty oak tree in Charleston, Tennessee. Well, that cool. We make through these little windows, talk about the arts and entertainment, spice that flavors our city. Pause if you want to read. It was not until after the Civil War that Cleveland had its cultural awakening. Before 1870, entertainment could be found at dances held in private homes at the Ocoee House Hotel. Music could be heard in church choirs and school recitals. And here's a solar-powered electric guitar invented by W.C. Parker. At first I thought it was a banjo, but that's a very interesting musical instrument. Look at that. Got a little old-timey stagecoach right behind me. This is just everything you see when you walk into the museum. But we got a little more to see in this side, so take away here. The Redback, America's best loved hymnal. So put on the headphones and press any button to hear the hymnals. So here's the hymnals on the wall. So let's see here. You'll probably put them on. Okay, I got part of the headphones. This is Blessed Assurance. And here's more stuff about church hymnal history here in Cleveland. The songbooks. And then here's a photo of Reverend Cleveland Derrick Sr. Chattanooga native, studied music. He was a pastor at several Baptist churches throughout Tennessee and other states. But he also wrote 300 songs, which featured in Redback church hymnals, including Just a Little Talk with Jesus and When God Dipped His Love in My Heart. That's cool. There's the Greenback hymnal. Early example of the Redback church hymnal shows evidence of blue dye on the page edges. The exact publication date is unknown, but the use of the blue dye was abandoned shortly after the original release of the Redback because of the dye bled into the stain on the interior pages. So if you look at the book, see the blue dye on the edges of the page. That's something. And here are shape notes. Use the shapes to press down to match the buttons in the box to hear the different notes played. The buttons in the box may stick. Press down on them with your hand before using the shape blocks to allow easier movement. Well, no sound, but they definitely are. Let's see. Don't know if they got it on today. Okay then. So I'll try to press down on them. It looks like it's not working. So I'll at least sing it for you, because triangle is Ti, La, So, Fa, Mi, Re, Do. So, Ti, La, So, Fa, Mi, Re, Do. Oh! There we go. Look at that one, doesn't work. There we go, that one. Well, I got some of it to work. It says, tell us your best loved red back hymnal memory. And we're about to enter the exhibit hall to learn more about Cleveland and the 5 Points. But you're greeted by this bronze art piece saying preserving the history and culture of the Ocoee district by highlighting the adventures of its people. Kind of give you names of people throughout the Cleveland area. Robert Reimer and John Tietz Company Foundation, McKee Food Corporation, Hardwick Close. Mr. and Mrs. Summerfield K. Johnson Jr. Jackson Furniture Industries in honor of their employees. The First Citizens Bank. Amanda and John Gray, and the Maytag Corporation Foundation. Once again, a clock tower everywhere I go. Back to the future, Marty. So here is actually history of Sergeant Paul Huff, and there is Paul Huff Parkway that kind of gets you to like the mall area, I believe, somewhere in Cleveland. But to honor a really great man from Cleveland, here's his uniform here. And here's more history about him too. The Congressional Medal of Honor is America's highest reward for military valor. This award was presented to Corporal Huff, U.S. Army 509 Parachute Infantry, for the action near Cornano, Italy, February 8th, 1944. There's his dog tags right here. And here is Paul Huff being welcomed by none other than President John F. Kennedy. Paul Huff on the plane home from Europe. And here is his Medal of Honor right here. What a great man. Yeah, like I said, you can check out my friend Chuck Guthrie's The Dream Poets tribute and his vlog about Paul Huff. You'll learn more about his life. And here we are at the exhibit hall dedicated to the employees and families of the Dixie Foundry Company, Dixie Products Incorporated, Magic Chef, and Maytag Cleveland Cooking Products. This hall is called the River of Time Permanent Exhibit. So over here is the miniatures that the Five Points Museum sign was talking about, called Exquisite Miniatures by artists Wes and Rachel Seidrist. But I actually shot a whole segment in here, but then I realized photography is not permitted, so I actually had to delete the footage out of the respect of these folks. But if you want to know more about Wes and Rachel, you can check them out at artofwildlife.com. You're going to need to grab a magnifying glass and walk around. You get up close and personal, all types of art being used in there. It was actually pretty cool, but just to document this for posterity. And we're going to go over here, since it's permitted to film over here. Let's explore the Ocoee region. The Civil War was heavily divided in the Ocoee region. Most of Bradley County voted against the succession, while Polk County favored it. In a telegram of June 30th, 1862, Lincoln stated to take a hold of the railroad or east of Cleveland, Tennessee, I think is as fully as important as taking a hold of Richmond. The area would serve as a hospital hub, suffer small skirmishes, and change hands many times. A lot of history of trains and Civil War, especially how important it was to get those trains around then. And what's this region known for? Bradley County is home to the headquarters of 3 Christian denominations and the printing house responsible for Redback Hymnal. Copper. Since 1843, copper mining has been an important part of the region's economy. And then stoves. Cleveland has been a hub for stove manufacturing since 1879 and outdoor activities. The Ocoee region is a perfect location for boating, hiking, biking, picnicking, and trail walking, and the area hosted the Olympics kayaking competition in 1996. And then here is the man kayaking, and here's like the oldest businesses and buildings that are in downtown Cleveland. The Cleveland Coffee and Casket Company, and then there's a Dixie Foundry. W.J. Hughes Business House, which would be this. The Princess Theater. Broad Street United Methodist Church. St. Luke's Episcopal Church. The Cherokee Hotel. And then the meeting at the Cherokee Hotel. Here's your prehistory of the Ocoee. Pause if you want to read. And then here's the historic period. Small section of the Cherokee who had impact in the Ocoee region. And there's John Ross. That's what is archaeology. All types of stones and artifacts over here. It's called the effigy pot. The reconstructed pot is decorated with human effigies in red paint, which has faded over time. The old Cherokee basket. And then there's the Eternal Flame. You can see that at Red Clay State Park, which we've been to over years ago. Might need to take another trip there. See any updates on Red Clay, if there's anything new. here's some arrowheads. They got Dalton arrowhead right here of early Archaic Paleo Indian. And here's a whole bunch of weapons over here, and they got them all labeled, like number 10 being the bison shoulder blade. And then you got, of course, arrowheads. Then the chisel, number 11, and then the Hafton maul. The difference between a hammer and axe differs because of the sharp edges. And to talk about the Broken Brotherhood, the American Civil War, 1861 to 1865. The first Confederate company was brought into service in Bradley County, August 10th, 1861. Though members of the Government Acts, Confederates were able to strip Bradley County Unionist men of their rights, seize Cleveland Copper Rolling Mill and the copper mines at Ducktown, pressure men into enlistment, and take property and weapons from Union supporters. Many of these Unionist men were faced with imprisonment if they did not support the rebel cause. They're the weapons they used: an old cannonball, cartridge box, rifles and muskets, and bayonets, for close combat and melee combat. And then there's the musket balls and the bullets. Isn't that crazy? And then up to April 1865, Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered. 5 days later, President Abraham Lincoln was shot by Confederate sympathizer John Wilkes Booth. Confederate armies began surrendering, including General Joseph E. Johnston, which there's a statue of him in downtown Dalton. 90,000 strong Army of Tennessee. By May 9th, President Andrew Johnson announced the end of the war. Over here would be the stoves. The stove industries. You got this stove over here. The combination of electric and an oven. Look at that. There's the Atlanta 1996 Olympics memorabilia right here. And there's the Olympic pin right here. The Yokoi, even right, the little speck of the Yokoi. And there's part of the torch replica right here. There's some stuff about the Olympics, the 1996 Olympics here. There's some tickets to it. Look at that. General admission. And remember, they had a mascot for the Olympics. I don't remember ever seeing him for this year's Olympics. And there's the kayak uniforms of the Yokoi River. And their watches, Coke bottles, the 1996 Olympic Coke bottle. Some more pins as well. And here's the museum gift shop. Kind of walk around in here for a minute. Kind of see what they have. Little paintings. And got, of course, the 5 Points Museum hat and shirt. Story of the Bradley Divided. Nice little coffee mugs. Some art over here. And this is called custom gourd art. Some more shirts of the 5 Points. That's a pretty cool shirt. We got some wood carvings. And the person in charge of the museum gift shop, she was telling me that everything in here is supported by 37 different local artists. Other than just your typical stuff in here, which I already showed off earlier, which kind of explains all these business cards hanging around here. So this is actually really cool that a museum and kind of an established historic society will allow people to do that, to represent their town and represent their business too. So as I'm posting this, there's some more events happening, so plenty of time to plan ahead between October 24th and December 7th. So pause if you want to read if there's anything that catches your attention. And that, friends, is my adventure to the 5 Points Museum, or the Museum Center of the 5 Points, whatever you want to call it. But I'll tell you the cost of getting in here. The cost is free, but with a little donation, I did walk out with a couple of little items, a magnet and some popping corn, because I know my son will get a kick out of that. I would do a town exploration to kind of make this vlog go hand in hand, but considering the weather, I'm not really a fan of vlogging in the rain. But we have one more stop to go to conclude this vlog. And here we are, my friends, the Blasted Machines Tech Shop, where you buy, sell, and trade all kinds of video games. Also the location for my miniature con, or want to call it a little meetup with myself, Chuck Guthrie, the Dream Poet, and Andy from Andy's Journeys, right here, October 19th, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., where you can meet us and hang out with us and shop for some vintage video games. So why don't we go inside and check it out. And the business hours are open from noon to 8 daily and noon to 6 on Sunday. And as you can see, a little LED light of some owl or something as you walk in. Look at that. Well, friends, this is a very tiny establishment, but a great little meetup to do here. Full of retro games and characters of all favorites. That's Sonic and Bowser. We got Baby Mario, Baby Luigi. Look at this. The old Batman for Sega Genesis. Little Madden and Monopoly. The Lion King. I've seen these on the TikTok lives going on right now. So we're going to work our way into the arcade room. So I actually had no idea what these are in here, but according to one of the employees here, these are Japanese pinball machines. I have no idea how they work, but very interesting. I'm going to have to YouTube of how Japanese pinball machines work. And I got a bunch of books up here too. Oh, little gaming magazines. Little editions of them. You know, there's some classic board games. Look at that, a Donkey Kong board game. That's got to be very interesting, very retro. The Street Fighter Monopoly and Scrabble, the 50th edition. Some PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 2 and 4 games, some Xbox games. We've got Mass Effect. Now that's something I haven't seen in quite some time. Mass Effect 2 to be exact. World Series of Poker. Oh, head coach. An arena football. I used to have that for my classic Xbox.
The demo is beautiful, man. I mean,
You got some very retro-looking stereo systems and recording systems. You can't get any more classic than a combination of DVD and VHS.
But right now, man, I don't really have anything I can.
Well, cut out of Middle Earth: Shadow of War. A little record player. And a Bass Pro Shop Hunt.
Fallout Diablo.
For it looked like for Nintendo Wii. They got some classic Nintendo systems.
that's what it
Look
is.
at that.
It's top down.
Everything from modern Nintendo to throwback Nintendo right here. And of course the Segas right here. Right beside over by the classic gaming systems. Got a throwback of Game & Watch, Nintendo cards, and whatever that's called, the Retro Paperboy. That's pretty cool. Some Game Boys and Game Boy Colors, pins, and a whole bunch of trading cards you could choose from, especially Pokemon cards. You got some old Nintendo with the Milo's, Astrolanes, Donkey Kong 64 Cruis'n USA. You got Terminator. Wow. You got a handheld control Japanese Mario remote control car. And all these classic games are here. Probably everything you could probably think of any era of time, you might find it at this little store. And kind of wrap things up here, kind of showing off little old Game Boy games and Game Boy Advance games down here. Got little minifigures. There's Samus right here. And Simon, Sonic, Wario, Rob. Basically a whole Smash Brothers lineup of minifigures right here. Another thing I missed too, showing off more of the minifigures you could add to your Nintendo Switch for the Smash Brothers games, and that's what those were. I thought they were just little figurines, but you actually buy those to add in the Smash Brothers player into your Nintendo Switch Smash Brothers game. They got more stuff over here behind the counter. Very tiny place, but a lot of random and fun technology. I believe if you were born somewhere between 1968 and 1993, you'll find everything that you could possibly imagine, and things you enjoyed will be right here at this tiny store. Well, I got a copy of Watch Dogs for $5 in there. I've been looking to find a new video game to play. I know my wife and I are going to start playing It Takes Two together, but I'm looking for a game to play individually. And I've seen this game come out years ago, and I thought it was about time to try it. It takes place in Chicago, Illinois, and you learn your hacking skills through this game. So I'm going to give this game a try, and maybe I'll give it a little review on the way. Who knows? But, yeah, man, that was the experience at Blast the Machines. We'll be here October 19th, so meet us here. And that, my friends, does it for today here in Cleveland, Tennessee. We just enjoyed a really fun and rainy adventure. Just got to check out the Five Points Museum, and then, of course, the Blast the Machines Tech Shop. I'm telling you, it's a very small store, but at the same time, it's worth checking out if you love throwback video games and machines and all that good stuff. They had other stuff in there, too. I really think if you are, like I said, born from like 1968 up until like 1993, that is like full of nostalgia, a lot of games, VHSs, like even current stuff today is also in there. Just so very, very cool store. I highly recommend you guys check it out, even before or after our event. But just remember, October 19th, 2024 at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Just hang out with myself, Chet, and Andy in that store and get to check out what you're into and when it comes in there, because you're going to be in there for a long time. It was hard for me to leave, and met Tim and Phil in there, just had good conversations about video games and movies and all that stuff. So you're going to meet some really cool guys in the store as well if you want to stay and chat and hang out, not just with us, but with them too. But my friends, this was a fun adventure. Got to learn a lot about Cleveland, Tennessee through that museum and checked out the store. So if you guys enjoyed this venture, you guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, follow on any of my social media. I'll see you guys next week. We're going to kick off the Great Wiener War, or begun the Wiener War has. So we're going to try out the Shaky Mutt in Chatsworth. We're going to do the Juan's Wieners in downtown Dalton, Georgia. And then we're going to end it in Cohutta, Georgia, to have a hot dog at the general store. I'll see you guys in the next adventure. And as I always say, my friends, eat well and keep your mind walking. I'll see you guys later.